Uh,
Can you hear me? Hey. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the main stage. It's Monday night main stage on the Main Event 365. I'm your host, Main Event Mike, joined as always by our illustrious panel of headliners. Today on the West Coast, representing the Honolulu and Blue, it's Greg Rice. How are you, Greg?
Doing beautiful today. Happy New Year's to everyone. You know, I am day 2 without a cigarette. I'm on my vape pen. Life is good. Lungs feeling better. I'm blessed. Big win, too.
All right, brother. Keep it up. Also, the first time on our headliner panel, a true headliner, Flaboom, Grove Teague, GT from And We Know Sports. Hey, GT, it's so great to have you on the show.
Good to be here, my brother. And just like my other brother, happy Jumpman 23 to everybody. I hope this is a great year. Flaboom don't.
Right on. Victory Monday. And that means our producer, Mr. Russell Wayne, El Jefe, he's got a smile on his face on Monday because his boy, Jared Goff, lit it up against the Chicago Bears in a 41-10 victory. How are you feeling tonight, Russ?
Oh, you know how I'm feeling, man. You know, Jared Goff played so well. They just let him take the last quarter off because we whooped that ass so bad.
Right on. It is Monday night main stage here on the Main Event 365. It's also open mic night. We want you to chime in, step up to the mic, put your comment, put your question in. We'll kick it around our panel of headliners. Gentlemen, this is the main event. Every show is like a song, and it's time now for verse number 1, brought to you by our new sponsor, Mount Holly Ski Lodge. We'd like to thank Mount Holly Ski Lodge for sponsoring the verse tonight, and we're going to do something a little different. They've given us some ski lift passes, so if anybody's interested in ski lift passes, it's a $100 value. We're going to do a trivia question for you right now. You put your answer in the comments. The first one with the correct answer in the comments is going to win the ski lift passes. And here's your trivia question. In the last 30 years, how many Detroit Lions head coaches have gone on to have another head coaching job in the NFL? Put your answer in the comments, and you will be winning 2 passes to Mount Holly Ski Lodge in Holly, Michigan. Time now for the verse, and we're going to talk about initial reactions, and we're going to start with Grove. GT, what's your initial reactions to this Detroit Lions beatdown of the Bears?
It's just another day at the golfist. You know, I mean, this is how we do things here in Detroit. You know, I put up a small little post, and I told him, I was like, this is straight business, okay? It's going to be business Sunday night now, and it was business, man. I mean, we did our thing. The offense was fluid. Pressure is looking so pleasant for the Detroit Lions, you know, and we were able to contain a mega superstar running quarterback in Josh Fields. You know, he got 105 in the first quarter and then ended up with 135. So, adjustments, big kudos. I love it.
Definitely an excellent tailback they have there in Chicago. Russell Wayne, let me get your initial reactions on this beatdown. Just a quick synopsis of your feelings of this win.
I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. It was a beatdown from beginning to end. They dominated the game on both sides of the ball. Let's go. I mean, that's about as straightforward as you can get right there, Michael.
Right. And our West Coast stat master, Mr. Greg Rice, at Greg Rice 20. Greg, give me your initial reactions on this win.
Just an absolute dominant performance. Bustin Fields, 7-21. You have a 33% completion rate, completion percentage. This I haven't seen such a dominant performance over the Bears since we had number 9 under center. And kudos to Campbell, Jared Goff. I've been kind of on the fence about you all year, man. And I just look at the overall performance you've given us. And I said before heading into this game that we would need to dominate the Bears to give me any sort of hope going into week 17 or week 18, into Lambeau. And that's exactly what we did. We took care of business, and we took care of it in just an obliterating fashion.
That's exactly what you said. And I was thinking about that as the fourth quarter was coming into play. And I'm like, boy, Greg got what he asked for. We truck sticked him, that's for sure. So absolutely, this game was full of stars. 41-10 Lions win the game. So we'll talk about the breakers and fakers now. Who were the game breakers for you, Greg, and who was a faker? Give me a breaker and a faker in this game.
I mean, look, if you go over the PFF performance of the week, I mean, where do you start? DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff. I mean, look, I'll put it to you like this. On the defensive side, we had Will Harris and Amani Warrior with plus green gradings. That should tell you something with how dominant this was. As you guys know, those guys have been kind of a liability all year. From top to bottom, you guys, other than the one Bustin Fields run, which kudos to that young man, I do think Chicago has something special there. They need a lot of pieces. And as we were alluding to earlier, I look at this 22 Chicago Bears team a lot like our 21 Lions team. A lot of holes. Where do you start? And but when it comes down to it, man, just dominating performances across the board. I seen some conflicting reports. Aiden Hutchinson, thank you for the bounce back game. We really needed that. I've been on your bumper all year about consistency. You came through when we needed it. Houston, what can you say? Man, we have it went from about the midway point of earlier this season of we need Will Anderson to where I think we have a fine rotation on the edge. Just everything you wanted, Aiden Hutchinson. In terms of game fakers, I gotta say, you guys, Jonah Jackson this last month has not been very good on the interior. PFF has graded him rather poorly this last month, and against the Packers coming up, Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt, we're going to need a better performance on the interior there. So if I got to go with game fakers, Jonah Jackson, we really need you stepping up in Pro Bowl form again.
Okay, Aiden Hutchinson for a breaker and Jonah Jackson for a faker. Russ, what do you got? Who's a game breaker?
Oh, my game breaker. I'm going to go with Brad Holmes, man. I was watching this game, and I'm just watching these guys that Brad Holmes drafted this year just teeing off. You got James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson making plays, interceptions. Wow. Kirby Joseph making a play where he knocks the ball out of his hand at the last second. Josh Pascal with 2 sacks. Brad Holmes, brother, you're my breaker, dude. We see you, brother. We see you. And my game faker is going to be, I'm going to go a little off key here, but the New York Jets. Crapping the bed on the offense and not taking care of business and giving us a clear path to the playoffs, man. You guys really crapped the bed. You guys played yourself out of a playoff, so you're my breaker. You're my game faker, New York Jets.
I love it. GT from And We Know Sports. Who was a game breaker in this game and who was a faker for you?
The breaker's definitely Goff to me.
All right.
I mean, he is playing pretty perfect ball, y'all. And they're starting to give him more and more props. He's throwing the ball on time. They're all dimes, I am extremely pleased, and I love how he gives us the option to seek other things with these first 4 picks. That we're going to have next year. I think they've become a 6 and a 17 or 18 or something like that in the first round now because of how sweet we doing, But, and hey, from experience, as a former wide receiver, the faker to me Jameson Williams, y'all. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you. You got to use some of that shifty, young man. Ain't no way you supposed to go out of bounds on that reverse, baby. Your speed is way too clean, and you had a nice little hole to go. So I am loving not only how Ben Johnson is faking the funk, utilizing that young man every game to scare the entire NFL about his speed, but I think he could have broke that one. So that's my only fake as far as the Lions' performance, really. So
yeah, I think that's a good call out. Boy, is that kid fast. We were watching it in the Lions Den, and I haven't seen the Lions Den that excited. When he touched the ball, the whole room went electric, and we're all yelling, God, look how fast he is. Like, even when they showed the replay in slow-mo, he looked fast. I mean, he was like shot out of a cannon. That run was 40 yards, by the way. It took 2.3 seconds or something to go 40 yards. Just amazing to me. And I think that's a good call out, though, because he did kind of bail out a bit at the end of the run. He might have been able to break one more tackle and he was gone. So for me, the game breaker's got to be James Houston. Talk about shot out of a cannon. Talk about, oh my gosh, how fast does someone look on the television? This guy, I mean, Bustin Fields had no idea that guy was that fast coming at him. I mean, his stat line for James Houston: 3 tackles, 3 sacks. We say this every week since this kid's got into the lineup. I mean, sacking is what he does. That is a game breaker by definition to me. For Faker, I'm going to go with Bustin Fields, because last time we played Chicago, I was right there with you guys thinking, boy, I'm scared of this guy for the next 3 years. I mean, the way he runs, I don't think he'll last more than 3 years, but the 3 years is going to scare me the way this kid is. Well, yesterday, I don't see it that way. There were times when he had lots of time. Yes, he got pressured a lot, but there were times when he had open receivers and he sailed the ball right over their head. There were times that he had guys wide open on the check down and he didn't take it. I feel a lot more better about the future for the Detroit Lions playing the Chicago Bears if they're going to stick with this kid, because I don't believe he's going to make it as a pocket passer. He's incredible running the ball from the quarterback position. Unfortunately, I have no respect for the Chicago Bears organization, the way they're leaving this kid out there to get slaughtered. CRG3, okay? This guy's not going to last at this pace. And I think that yesterday he blew some really good chances. His team came out and scored the first touchdown, and he didn't answer the rest of the game, in my opinion. He let the pressure get to him, and Bustin Fields is my faker in that one. Time now. Are we going to bring in Detroit Jesus?
There he is.
Bring him in?
What up?
I see him in the waiting room there.
There he is. There he is. Detroit Jesus in the house.
We have our very own Jesus in the house. Our Jesus turns water to blue Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
What's up, fellas?
Where are you at, Melvin? Is he in?
He's in. Detroit Jesus is in.
Can y'all hear me?
Please welcome to the main stage, Detroit Jesus.
What's up,
Melvin G.
man? I forgot it was Monday. I ain't have to work today and shit. And then I popped on and seen the show. I was like, oh shit, it's Monday. Yeah, let me jump on here, man.
So glad you're with us. You caught us just in time to start talking about the Goffense. As our illustrious panel member GT said, it was just another day at the Goffus. Jesus, give me your take on this Goffense in this game against Chicago.
I mean, what is there to say? We absolutely dominated them. Like the offense has been rolling. Like it's a top 5 offense right now. I can't complain about shit.
Ranked number 4.
That's right.
Jared Goff, 21 of 29, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, 133 passer rating. He's won all of the skeptics over. I think anybody who's a Goff hater by this point just doesn't know football is what it seems like to me. If you want Lamar Jackson, I love Lamar Jackson. He's fantastic. He's amazing. But we got our quarterback. That's the way I look at it. Is that how you look at it, Melvin?
Until he proves different, that's what you got to go with. You know what I mean? He's Holmes' guy, so obviously until he absolutely shits the bed, that's our quarterback. So it's either rock with him or find another team.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like
Greg Rice, I want to hear your comment specifically about the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. What'd you think of the game he called?
I think it was perfect. It was immaculate. I touched on this. I just brought it up earlier. We needed an absolute dominant performance, and that's what you got from this offense, man. Jared Goff, our running game, over 250 yards rushing, just absolutely stepped all over the Bears. I know if you're a Chicago fan, you got to look at this game and be like, wow, this has got to be a low point. Our offense has been rolling, keeps rolling. We've had a few hiccups along the way, but that's to be expected. I don't mind, putting up I do, but I don't mind, we got skunked by Belichick, one of the greatest defensive minds in NFL history. Yeah, we got stumped out by Dan Quinn, another great defensive mind. But overall, you take the whole picture of everything he's done, he's accomplished this year, everything. He is essentially gave Goff one of his top 3 seasons he's ever performed. The Goffins is amazing. And like Melvin was just touching on, until Goff proves he isn't the guy, I am absolutely okay with Goff going forward.
GT, what do you think? You're a Goff believer now?
I am definitely a Goff believer. Russ knows that he was on the short stick with me, because I had a lot of hopes for him. I liked him coming out of college. I liked him at the Rams. I thought he got a huge shaft with the Rams organization. Yeah. However, when he came available to us for such a cheap price tag, I was like, let's do it. And then he was fluky. And I was like, okay, this is the year. And then these first 6, 7 games, I was a little ticked. However, looking back in retrospect, we were watching our team grow up before our eyes.
Agreed.
Just like kicking out that doggone baby eagle, you better fly. And we started flying,
It's my quarterback.
Man, just like my man said, the offense is looking beautiful. Swift is looking so strong the healthier he gets. And that's also the key for our team and our success. Everybody getting healthy. Everybody is listening. Everybody's doing their jobs. Whenever we go fresh outside of doing our jobs, we get into problems, So we really needed that butt spanking against Carolina to put us on track. Packers fans, they in trouble, y'all. They in trouble. I'm going to tell you.
Uh-oh. We're going to have one on here.
They in trouble.
Well, we're talking to a new topic we've got. It's called the AGD. That's the Aaron Glenn defense. They absolutely showed up against the Bears. Melvin, tell me what you saw about the D. What stuck out? We talked about James Houston before you came in already. But tell me for you, what really stood out about that AGD?
Obviously, like you said, James Houston, let's touch on that. But, what stood out to me is the response from last week. We actually got mollywopped in the fucking run game. And we come this week and we absolutely shut the run game down. And honestly, I kind of want to circle back to your breakers and fakers. Actually, that Chicago run offense is the faker, because as soon as you put the clamps on Bustin Fields and the defense doesn't have to guess who's running the fucking ball, their running backs ain't doing shit.
Agreed. The Chicago running backs combined only had 68 yards rushing combined. Bustin Fields with 132 yards while all the DBs have their back to him. So totally, they did rush for 200 yards. But it was pretty meaningless quarterback running. Totally. Bustin Fields' stat line, 7 of 21 for 75 yards. We'll take that all day. So Greg Rice, AGD, what'd you see on this Aaron Glenn defense?
Well, just shutting down the run game. Look, I hate the Chicago Bears more than any other team in the NFL.
Really?
But I can't. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely hate look, we are now in the Super Bowl era. We are 54-57-1 versus Chicago Bears, which is one of the most competitive, not only division rivalries, but rivalry in football in the Super Bowl era. So whenever we get a win and a statement win like we did against them, it always feels good to me. That is a cherry pick stat in the Super Bowl era, but I don't care. It's my story, and I'm going to tell it. I'm a huge Khalil Herbert fan, and probably my second favorite running back in the league. And I've got to say this, we absolutely shut him down. And as Melvin touched on, we're not so worried about those RPOs. We put the clamps down. He looked very pedestrian, incredibly pedestrian. I was so proud of our Lions defense yesterday. Just our front four, in fact, our whole front seven, even our secondary. It was the type of performance that you look and you're like, that team is worthy of a playoff spot. While it's out of our hands, I don't want to touch too much on the Green Bay thing yet, man. I think we got a hell of a game coming up, man. You talk about two of the three hottest teams in the NFC facing each other, and AG came through and in the realest way after putting up really what was one of the crappiest performances all season against Carolina.
Right on. So we're sending it over to Russell Wayne. El Jefe, what do you got to say about this AGD?
Hey, I love it, man. Last week was an indictment on both sides of the ball as far as the line of scrimmage goes. They got their faces kicked in. 132 yards before the running back gets touched. That means that I could have ran for 132 yards against the Lions defense last week. And they stepped up. They turned it around. Both sides of the ball I wanted to give a compliment to as far as the offensive and defensive line for upping their game, getting physical, and dominating the line of scrimmage here. Good job for turning that whole thing around.
Right on. Hey, Grove, GT, what do you got? Give me some analysis on this defense. What'd you see?
I did not see what y'all saw. I saw an Aaron Glenn defense that pressured them to the point where they went away from the run. I saw Bustin Fields get dinged up, get hit hard a couple times, and he did not want to run as much anymore. And they was just trying to get back in the game, and they went away. I saw Herbert, who was also one of my favorite, my brother. I saw him running over us and carrying us, okay, for 4, 5, 6 yards. And then they just went away from it. I saw him doing a lot of stuff in the middle of the field. But again, I think our defense put them, and our offense put them in a position of coming back, and they are not a coming back team. They can't put it in the air. So kudos definitely to Aaron. Oh, but I got to say, man, I don't never smoke on the air, dude. You made me fire up a cigarette as far as comparing Lamar Jackson and golf. I love golf. But, man, did you put me into a nice little daydream about, wow, what it would be like.
Well, what it would be like to have Lamar Jackson in Detroit.
He's such a threat with his legs, and he is accurate. He ain't had no receivers. We got a bunch of receivers here, yo. So, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to a fault, to my friends, to my family, to my sports teams, all that kind of stuff. So I would not make a move to move golf. But wow, I had never thought about it. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lions fans out there calling for Lamar to come to Detroit, and Lamar did put us on the short list of teams he would consider coming to. So it kind of tantalized everyone. But I think Goff has stepped in and said, no, this is my job, and you're not taking it. It's time now for us to move on to our next segment, and it's a little segment we like to call The Chorus. And that's when we're going to go to the comments, the open mic, where you've put in your questions and your comments. The Chorus today brought to you by Remax Edge, the Quinn and Phaedra Bartlett team. Hashtag Mr. Bartlett sells houses. Be sure to call Quinn and Phaedra for all your real estate needs. They are your real estate professionals. Let's read some of these comments now. It looks like we got Dante Latham Jr. who says, how can you not say James Houston? He dominated the game just as much as Goff. Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, he was a dominant force, but only 3 tackles. We're talking about the QB, right? That's the man wearing the crown. So a Facebook user says, it's going to be a great game, but we're going to win. And I'm just assuming that's not a Packer fan saying that. Another Facebook user says, we beat them in the first game, and we weren't actually playing very good. Yet I'll tend to the defense of both playing well. Whether Seattle wins or loses, I want to steamroll Green Bay. Go Lions. We are going to talk all about that Green Bay upcoming with the Green Bay superfan who's coming on the show in the next segment. Bill, the Packer fan, can't wait to get that going. Let's see here. Jeremy Ballrick from Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy B. He says his game breaker was James Houston. He agreed with me. And his game faker, the Bears O-line. Let's kick that around for a minute. That Bears O-line couldn't generate a run. They couldn't stop the pass rush. The Lions get 7 sacks. They got rookies showing out all over the field against them. What was going on with that offensive line, Melvin, in Chicago? Are they just trash? Do they need to rebuild there?
It's absolutely just a garbage ass O-line, I guess.
Okay, so it wasn't really what our D did. It's who they were playing?
It's a combination of both. You can't discount what we did, you know what I mean? But you can't deny the fact that Chicago's line is absolutely dog shit.
Right on. That's from Jeremy Ballreg from Kneecap Biting with Smokey. Jeremy, thanks for the comment. Remember, folks, if you want to step up to the open mic night, you want to sing the chorus with us, put your comment, put your question in, and we'll kick it around the panel. And StreamYard will send you an invitation. If you accept that invitation, we'll be able to see your name, and you won't have to be an anonymous Facebook user like the one that said, we broke Bustin Fields in the first quarter. I think that's a pretty accurate assessment. From there, they couldn't really run the ball. They were playing catch up all the way. One of the best quarters, one of the best halves of football I've seen the Lions play all year. And like Dan Campbell said in his press conference today, just a great complimentary game. One of the reporters asked Dan Campbell, would you say this is the best you've seen your team play? He wouldn't go out on a limb and say that exactly. But he highlighted the fact that it was complimentary football. You look at some of these games we played like Seattle, the offense was just rolling, but the defense couldn't stop anyone. So it was a great complimentary game, great team win against a division rival. Another Facebook user says, I love Goff. Can't wait for the game this weekend. And I know that's right. I wish it was Sunday right now. Big update. The Lions and Green Bay Packers game did get flexed to the Sunday night 8:20 p.m. game. So finally, the Lions get a primetime game this year. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Russ Wayne, do you have any thoughts on this? Is this a good thing or not a good thing for the Lions to get flexed to a night game?
Well, I mean, for the fan experience and from knowing whether you're even playing for a playoff chance, I mean, that part kind of stinks that, like, if Seattle just goes ahead and wins the game, that we have no shot to get into the playoffs going into the game. That part of it really sucks. But at the end of the day, you got to get this win in Lambeau or else, you know, you're going to have the SOL fans coming out and saying, okay, you had a decent season, but you didn't get the win in Lambeau. So it's a big game either way to me.
Wow. One of our comments here during the chorus, one of our Facebook users says that the game's been moved to Sunday Night Football, and he thinks it's because, or he or she thinks it's because the NFL wants to see the Packers move on in the playoffs. So the fix is on, is what they're saying here. Aaron Rodgers makes for better viewers than the Geno Smith-led Seahawks. I'm definitely skeptical of a home field advantage from the Zebras. We've never seen that happen before, and I'm pretty sure he's being tongue-in-cheek rhetorical with that. The money line for the Detroit versus Green Bay game today is Green Bay favored by 4.5 points. Pay attention if it moves to 2.5 by Friday. That's Jeremy pointing out that a lot of people might be loading up on the Lions in Las Vegas. Another Facebook user says, Hutch being very disciplined and keeping contain on Fields. Also interesting seeing the Lions run most of the game with a 4-2-5 defense. What a great call out that is, because I noticed that too. The 4-2-5 look. They had the nickel corner in for a lot, even in running situations. They were playing a 4-2-5. And did anyone else see that it looked like Aiden Hutchinson was playing spy on Bustin Fields? GT, did you see anything different defensively alignment-wise?
You could definitely tell he was rush covering. You know,
right?
He wasn't just rushing or just covering. He was mixing it up. You know, he felt like he was reading a little bit. Man, I'm pretty stumped about the fear of the Packers. You know, getting back to one of the comments, the Packers are they hot right now. They have beat a ridiculously sweet Bears team, a ridiculously sweet Rams team, a ridiculously sweet Dolphins team, and then a Vikings. Come on, man, come on. You know, and I got a cousin that's real hot on Vegas, runs everything. You know.
Yeah, you just mentioned teams that beat the Lions, so they have won 4 in a row. The Green Bay Packers, and the Lions, however, won 6 of 8, 4 of 5. So it's going to be a hell of a clash in Lambeau for sure. Let's round out. Let's take 1 or 2 more comments, and then we'll get Bill the Packer fan in here for our next segment. SOL is dead, someone says. If we handle the Packers regardless, it's a good season. I agree with that. I'd like to throw that around the panel. Greg Rice, if we beat the Packers and don't make the playoffs because Seattle beats Baker Mayfield and the Rams, is this still a good season? Is this still a successful Detroit Lions season?
Absolutely. I was very heated on last week's show about a disappointing loss to Carolina. Look, we're no longer in control of our own destiny. What we are in control of is making sure that the Packers don't get to the playoffs. And I know it sounds really kind of but look, we have done this time and time again. I really look at this game right here as important as our 2014 essentially division title game. Even though the Vikings have already got it locked up, I look at this as you want to change the culture. We've heard a lot of lip service, and he's made great strides. Campbell, who I've been kind of up and down on all year. If you want to get SOL, just throw it out of the way. You got to win in Lambeau. And, GT brought up, some of the teams that the Packers have steamrolled. Granted, their competition was kind of they are hot, though, and they got hot right at the right point. I look at this game as such a telling – just a telling like capsule of what we are about in terms of changing the culture and everything. You've got to beat the Packers in Lambeau. This is the same thing. The NFC West looks up to the 49ers. NFC East looks up to the Dallas Cowboys. You want to prove there's a change, go beat them. Go beat the staple team at their house.
Right. As the great Muhammad Ali said, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yes,
and,
sir.
That's exactly what the Lions are up against this week. And we're going to bring in an expert in that field now. It's time now for the bridge. Where's that bridge? Where's that coming from? The bridge brought to you today by Mothers of Joy University. And it's
this
time
week
for our special
we
segment
welcome
called
Bill.
Play that drop, Russ.
You want that drop? No, thy enemy. And this week we welcome Bill, the Packer fan, into the line.
Anyway, the name of the segment is Know Thy Enemy. And our special guest today is Green Bay Packer superfan, Bill the Packer fan. Is Bill in the waiting room waiting to come in?
Bill is in.
Let's go. Let's get him on. I don't see him. Is he here?
What's going on?
Right there.
No, I don't see him.
It's
probably a good thing. He's probably wearing green.
I'm surprised to see Melvin out running.
Is he wearing green?
Green and yellow.
Let me guess. He's wearing green and he needs a shave.
He looks freshly shaved.
I can't see you, Bill, but I think that's okay. Welcome to the program, my friend. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited for this Sunday.
Can anyone else hear him?
Yes, we can hear him.
Oh, I can't hear him. I don't know why.
Shoot. I don't know.
Maybe leave and come back real quick.
Oh, here we go. Let me click.
Yeah, let him leave and come back. That usually helps.
Right on. How you doing, Bill? You feeling pretty good after that
I'm
win?
I'm excited for Sunday, man. I'm excited for Sunday. It's going to be a hell of a game, bro.
Excited
I'm
for
glad
that.
we got home field advantage, though.
How's it going, Mike? Can you hear everything? Everything looking good?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you. Can you hear everybody else?
I can hear everyone, but I can't see myself, but that's okay. I'm ugly.
Oh.
Well, if you missed it, Bill just said he's excited for the ass whooping the Packers are about to take this.
Yeah, I think Melvin's tiptoeing around. I'm surprised to see Melvin out so late at night.
It is not past Melvin's bedtime, Bill. That's not true.
got
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main stage, Bill the Packer fan. And Bill, we got some questions for you now as we get ready for this Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. Both teams come in at 8-8. The Green Bay Packers with their 16th ranked offense and 18th ranked defense in the league against Detroit Lions, high-powered 4th ranked offense and 32nd ranked defense. What do you expect to see out of this game? Before we get some questions from the panel, I want to hear your first synopsis. What are you looking for in this game?
Well, first, I didn't realize that your defense was 32nd. So that means it's worse than Minnesota. So I don't know.
No,
man.
we moved to 30th, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we moved to 30th.
Like we moved
Minnesota
up 2
took
spots,
that 32nd spot.
I checked ESPN 10 minutes before we went on, and we were ranked 32 on ESPN.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrible, man. I hope our offense starts clicking because this is the opportunity. I didn't realize your defense was that bad.
Well,
great.
if you watch the game last Sunday, they aren't that bad.
Not the last 10 weeks.
Well, yeah, that was against the Bears, though. Come on, everyone picks on the Bears.
No, the last 10 weeks, the Lions defense has given up 20 points a game. So, I mean, it's
right. In the last 5 weeks, the Packers defense has gotten a lot stronger and better too.
Once that defense ranking is once your defense is just so bad for so long in the season, you know, it's hard to get out of those rankings. You know, like even if you put on that good run.
Right. The first 4 weeks of the season threw off the curve because the defense was historically bad.
Right.
It's a great point, Melvin. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Greg, we're going to start with you out on the West Coast there, buddy. I want you to give a good salient question for our guest, Bill, the Packer fan today.
What's up, Bill? Glad to have you on here, man. I mean, I'm just going to cut straight to the point, man. This game is obviously do or die for both of our teams. Your game is a little bit more in your hands than it is in ours. Obviously, you guys aren't predicated on Seattle losing. I mean, I just got to come out and ask you point blank, man. How important, regardless of how you do, how important is it for this team to get to the playoffs? And if you guys lose this Sunday to the Detroit Lions, would you consider this season a complete and utter failure?
Okay, well, I'll answer the if we lose part first. If I don't consider the season to be a failure because of these two rookies, Dobbs and Watson, this was a development season. So like I was saying before the season even started during the offseason, like our first half of the season isn't going to look too good. It's going to take all these new components time to gel. You know what I'm saying? But that's if we're going to lose. We're not going to lose. You know what I mean? So like I said, when we win Sunday, we're obviously everyone can sit here and say, yeah, we're going to Super Bowl. None of us are going to the Super Bowl at NFC North. None of us are capable of going that far. But what my one hope is to go ahead and beat you guys and then meet Vikings in the playoffs, kick them out, and then we could choke and I'll have a good season. I want to be the person to sit Minnesota on the bench, on the couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to say this. That is such a Packer fan answer.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win
the playoffs. If the Packers don't make the playoffs, that is 100% a fucking failure of a season. There's no such thing. No. There's no such thing as a development season with a 38-year-old fucking quarterback. You are in win now mode.
Yeah, but when all your main weapons are all fucking rookies, what do you think's going to happen?
That's fine. The season's still.
I mean, now take Justin Jefferson out of the equation. What other wide receiver? I mean, it's 1 out of 10 that's going to be able to be an impact on day one. Like 1 out of 10.
You blame your staff for trading away fucking Devontae Adams.
No, I blame Aaron Rodgers for not doing all the preseason workouts with his team like every other quarterback did. Look at Justin Fields, what he did during the offseason. Boom, he was there with Mooney, before practices even started out in a field playing catch. That's what Rodgers should have did. See, Rodgers lacks the leadership. He wants to say he has it, but he don't. If he would have been out there, this could have been.
I can agree with that too, but at the same time, if you don't make the playoffs, you can't say this season's not a failure. It absolutely is.
No, I don't say it's a failure at all. I don't think so at all. No, wow. I think the development. I don't know what happened to my camera there. I think the development of Watson was definitely crucial, bro.
Look at my face, Bill.
Let me see here.
Hey, Bill, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what happened to my camera.
Bill, I'd like to introduce you to the one and only from And We Know Sports, Mr. Grove Teague. GT, let's have a question for Bill, the Packer fan.
Man, how you doing, Bill? How's everything?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Man, I'm praying on that pitiful Packers technology that you got out there, my brother.
Yeah. No, it's actually I got a new webcam and it's not really working too well. I gotta set something.
I know, dude. This technology is getting me too, man. Man, it seems to me that your defense is definitely improving. I really love Zaire, man. He's one of my favorite in the whole league.
Right.
But since you haven't faced an offense as versatile as this Lions offense since probably Dallas,
okay.
How do you guys contain what the Goffense is actually bringing to the table?
Well, for one, though, if you follow the Packers defense the last few weeks, we've been actually doing pretty well in something we haven't done in years, and that's stopping the run. So, like what we did yesterday, you guys or the Vikings tried to pound the ball on us. So we stopped that and we forced him to throw. And then we let, instead of playing zone like we did the first time with the Vikings, we let him play man. And look what happened. You know what I'm saying? Now we have a little bit more faith in Jared Alexander, too. So I think from here on out, Joe Barry might be more open to sending him to follow the number one receiver on every opposing team. Now that he's kind of like proved himself and stepped up a little bit, because he talked a lot of smack before the game. And I was even like, man, he's really beefing this up. This could end, bad. Yeah. But he talked the talk and walked the walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
We got too many number ones.
Right.
That's the problem.
Well, that's where Savage and Amos and everybody's going to have to pitch in and start covering people all over the field. So
yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a 3-headed tight end not named TJ Hawkinson. Russell Wayne, give me your question for Bill the Packer fan.
Oh my gosh, man. This is an epic matchup and this is a much bigger game for the Detroit Lions than it is for the Packers. Any way you slice it, even if you guys are going into the playoffs, because you guys are used to going to the playoffs year after year after year. We are not used to playing meaningful games this late. So in your opinion, how big is this game for the Green Bay Packers?
I think it's pretty big because right now our record is out of the last 30 years. We went to the playoffs 26 times. So I'd like to keep that record going, So, but it means a lot to us because I want to see, this is the same scenario that happened in 2010. Yeah. I don't know if anyone noticed and caught any of the media, but Rodgers cut his hair to the same haircut as in 2010.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're like totally reliving this. So we'll see. I mean, this season means a lot to me, man. Like Melvin disagrees, but even if we don't win, you have to have, I don't know, you got to get your team to gel. Watson,
chemistry.
Dobbs, Rodgers. Yeah. So at least this season we got to see who's a scrub and who's not. We showed Watson is actually pretty good when he's not injured. Dobbs is halfway decent when he's not injured. By next season they're going to be rocking and rolling. It's going to be deadly.
Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering what we're going to do with defensive coordinator because he fluked off the first beginning of the season. So now he's starting to pick it up. So we'll see. We'll see where it lands.
All right.
That was a fantastic answer. I appreciate that answer because, a lot of people wouldn't care as much because you guys are just used to it. But I appreciate that, Bill.
All right. Now, last question for you, Bill, is from me. And I want to ask you, about a month ago, I saw you post in Detroit Lions group, or maybe it was in NFC North, the huddle, that you should bench Aaron Rodgers and let Jordan Love play out the rest of the season.
If we were eliminated.
Once you were eliminated, but then you guys went on a roll. Now you guys are playing. So my question to you, is that really, you $50 million, are you going to double down on that statement now that even if they would have been eliminated, you should have put Jordan Love in? If they had been, would you double down on that?
Well, when I made that statement, that was before our GM said a week ago, if it could have even been 2 weeks ago, that he is retaining Jordan Love. He is going to stay a Packer. If they got to pay him, they're going to pay him or whatever. But I was thinking more or less, me as a fan, I wanted to see what Jordan Love had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If there was 3 games left, I want to see him start those 3 because every time he starts a game, the first half, he looks nervous. So I wanted to see him consecutively in a row. And for number 2, the other reason why is there's game film on him to maybe potentially trade him for something, trade him for a player or a spot because there's really no game film on him but a couple of games.
So that was if the Packers would have been eliminated, you were advocating to put Jordan Love in for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe play Rodgers for 1 quarter and then Love take over and finish it out,
Do you think Rodgers will be back next year?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
With all that money, it seems like a foregone conclusion.
$50 million is a lot of money to leave sitting on the table.
For sure.
So, you know what I mean? No matter how rich you are, that's a lot of money to leave sitting on the table.
Yeah. But I think the San Francisco 49ers could take that contract and win a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, but they don't have no first-round draft picks for like a year or 2. So they don't really have much to offer. That's the thing. You got to have some kind of draft or some kind of draft capital or a player to trade us, and you got to have the cap to pay the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be, there is a lot of people say there ain't no one out there that'll do it. Believe me, half them teams will be more than happy to do it.
Yes, they would.
So.
I'll be sleeping on Purdy.
Look at he's over there laughing. I can't wait for Sunday, man. It's going to be a great game, man. A lot.
I know.
Too. So these guys are going to play with their heart too. That's what's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a spanking.
Well, see, that's the difference between the Packers and the Lions is, Dan Campbell has this team. They're going to play with heart regardless of the game. You guys are waiting to the last game of the season to play with heart. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I would expect the typical Lion fan to say that, but yeah,
so
whatever.
The flexing gives us the understanding of where do we put the fear into y'all? Do we put it into letting you know
it's going to take more than one? It's going to take more than one game.
And we go into the playoffs, or do we spoil it for y'all?
Yeah.
Either way, it's good news for us because it'll let us know how to go into it. I love the flex.
Yeah.
We're about to surprise everybody.
I hope so.
Well, I got to be honest here. As far as homers go, I try not to be one, but this Lions team's really got me swept up in the euphoria. But Aaron Rodgers has pulled my heart out so many times in my life that I have PTSOL, post-traumatic, same old Lions. And part of that is Aaron Rodgers is the boogeyman. Okay. And the fact that we need to beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field to make a playoff. I mean,
it was
it's gonna be a blowout. Man, we got.
Hey, Russell, can you do a poll? Can we get a poll? Will Melvin break his phone when he loses?
We are in Rodgers' head too. I'm telling you.
Come on,
don't
man.
do it, Melvin.
That about Packer fans, bro.
Man,
Lions fans is used to disappointment. Let's talk about y'all.
Dude, after this season, we're used to some disappointment, buddy.
You ain't seen shit yet to be used to disappointment. What did you say? You were talking to Lions
Greg,
fans.
we're going to step back. Let these guys go.
Uh-oh. That was just me and you, buddy.
Yeah, what just happened?
He said something and then it's just me.
I was saying you guys should just go, man. I want to see you guys argue this out. You guys...
I was like, where'd everybody go?
Hey.
I was confused.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that, but I mean, if you guys start going at it, man, I'm just going to pull everybody out. You guys do your thing.
Right. I don't see it.
Well, Bill, it's probably a good thing you didn't hear the rest of my comment.
It's my quarterback. Good shit.
Oh man, we got some comments in here.
Let's go back to the chorus like every good song.
Do one of those fantastic promos for Bartlett, man. I love your go ahead and hit that.
It's time to get back to the chorus now, brought to you by Remax Edge, the Quinn and Phaedra Bartlett team, your real estate professionals. Hashtag Mr. Bartlett sells houses.
Gosh, I love that. You do that so good.
Yeah, you should be an auctioneer, bro.
So we got one Facebook user that says Rodgers needed a haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got another Facebook user say if they uncap Williams, who does Alexander follow? Is it Shark? Is it Sun God?
We got
Amon Ra. Do they stop the Ron? Yeah, you got a lot of people to cover. We got a lot of weapons there in Detroit. I agree with that.
And if you check the speed and the accuracy of our DBs, they're pretty.
Yeah.
Hey, like I always say on the Packers show to other fans, laugh now but cry later.
Yeah,
right,
well, here we go. Rodgers disrespected Detroit when he told the reporter that we were not an over 500 team or some with some dumb smirk on his face. I saw that, but he didn't say anything that wasn't true. I'm not gonna fault the guy for smack talk. Here we are. Let's see. Let's see who's better.
Rodgers is a media troll.
Yeah.
He lives for that shit, dude. The off season, he lives for that shit, dude.
Man, you guys are. We thought you were one game away, and you guys did. You guys come up like the boogeyman and stuff like that. But I mean, this is a different Lions team. I really do feel.
Yeah, no, I believe that too. I think it's 50-50 going into this game.
If you don't pack a lunch, we're going to eat your lunch. So, I mean, it's going to be a good game in my opinion, right there.
We come with a food truck and catering.
How are we going to eat their lunch?
Well, I mean, it is at Lambeau. You guys catering, right?
Yeah. You guys are gonna end up with peanuts and granola bars. We're gonna get like the crab legs.
Man, the peanuts and granola bars are for the elephant in the room, and the elephant looks just like Aaron Rodgers. Eat all the nuts you want.
It's gonna be a good game, though, man. I'm super excited to see this. At least they flexed it so everybody could watch you guys lose. I mean, watch us play.
I heard that.
All right, we're gonna give another try here to Mike. Hey, Mike, are you feeling pretty good in there? We're having.
I'm fine, man. I am definitely here. To what we were talking about, though, Jeremy Ballright here in the comments made a good comment that Aaron said he couldn't believe that he lost to that team. That's pretty insulting, and I think professional football players take that stuff hard, and I think the Lions are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder for this game. Another comment says, outdoor venue, we got this. Welcome Dome team. So that must be a Packer fan in our comments. Infiltrated our comments there.
Yeah.
Anything else, Russ, in these comments before we move on?
I mean, there's plenty of comments in there. We appreciate all the comments. I mean, we're sorry that we can't get to all of them, and that's actually a good thing. So we appreciate the support on the show and everything.
That Dome team real quick.
Go ahead, Alan.
So what was it when we played the Jets? Was it like 30 degrees or something like that?
Well, I believe what Mary was referring to was what happened to JJ. He's saying that because it wasn't, that special indoor grass, he couldn't maneuver his body and stuff as easily. So I believe that's what she's referring to.
All right, then.
We're still gonna whoop your ass outside, period.
Yeah.
Hey, Melvin, just whatever you do, don't bet your house, buddy. Don't bet your house, buddy.
Hey, I'm not worried about it, bro.
Oh my gosh, are we going to the outro yet, Mike? We ready to do this and get
No, like every good song, you got to come back to the verse. We're going to talk about what's the most intriguing matchup from Bill the Packer fan in the Lions Packer game. What's the most intriguing matchup?
Honestly, anyone who Jared Alexander follows, I'm going to be watching that. I like watching him play man coverage, and I'm hoping Joe Barry sticks with the same game plan as last week. I want to see him on St. Brown. That's who I want to see.
That's
careful what you reach for. Russell Wayne, what's your most intriguing matchup?
I mean, it's right there because I know that the Packers have some very good cornerbacks. It's how do your cornerbacks match up against our awesome wide receivers? It's a strength versus strength type of thing. Frankly, I don't think that you have three cornerbacks that can match up against our top three guys. I think you do have good cornerbacks, but they're not better than our wide receivers.
Melvin
G.
What was I gonna say? I actually had it, and so fucking all of our wide receivers against their whole entire secondary. Like, I want to see how y'all hold up because everybody's gonna eat.
Right on. That's a good call out. Greg Rice, what do you see as the most intriguing matchup?
I'm gonna circle right back to it, man. I think our interior O-line versus their interior D-line. Devontae Wyatt has really kind of, after me talking crap about him all year, has really emerged these last 3-4 weeks since the Packers have gone on this run. Him and my boy Kenny Clark, shout out, ex-Bruin, gotta love it. I think it's gonna be a huge X factor for our offensive line to get movement up front, to get Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift some looks on the inside, as well as pass protection. They're no slouches along that defensive line the Packers have. I know they're without Rashawn Gary, one of Melvin's favorite players, but I think it's really what it's going to come down to is our offensive line versus the front seven and us being able to manipulate that. If we can't manipulate that, you guys, I think it's going to be a long day at Lambeau. And I really hope it isn't, because over the last 30 years, there's been a lot of long days at Lambeau for us Lions fans. So I think it's going to be a huge X factor right there.
Right on. GT, from And We Know Sports, what do you see as the most intriguing matchup in this game?
Well, by my last name being Teague, I usually say that I'm intrigued about something.
Yes.
So the one thing
that's
really
intriguing
sparked my interest and my concern. We were talking about Herbert earlier as far as one of the unsung running backs in the NFL. I have always loved Aaron Jones, man. And I'm looking forward to the way that we contain their running game. I believe that has been the strength of the Packers this year. you got all the hoopla and all the history of what Rodgers has done, that all the focus has been that way, man. You know, Aline, Pascal, Kaminsky, these big brothers need to go ahead and step up in this game. That is the most intriguing part to me, you know, because we're going to put up 30, 40 points. I'm not even worried. You know, I just don't want them to put up 31 or 41.
Yeah.
Know?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
All right. Well, most intriguing matchup for me is getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Last time we played him, we picked him off 3 times. If we can get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, make it uncomfortable for him, that's going to be key to the game for us. The advanced weather report says it's going to be cloudy and 30 degrees in Lambeau that day. They're not expecting slippery conditions. I really hope that stays the case because you know, the slippery conditions always tend to favor the offense rather than the defense, and our defense needs all the help it can get. So I hope the conditions aren't slippery, but I do see getting pressure on Rodgers as the most intriguing matchup. So that'd be our defensive line against their offensive line. Moving on, we're going to talk about keys to winning, and we're going to start in reverse order, and we'll start with GT. What are the Detroit Lions' keys to winning this game?
I'm not worried about the pressure on Rodgers. I think it's stopping the run and just go ahead, business as usual in the Golfers.
There you go. Stop the run and keep that offense clicking. That's the keys to winning. That's a good call out. Russell Wayne, what are your keys to winning in this game?
It's controlling the line of scrimmage like it is in every game. Our strength is our offensive line. It is winning the battle in the trenches and giving our running backs room to operate and allowing offense to open up the middle of that field so we can continue to throw to Amon-Ra and all these tight ends not named TJ Hawkinson.
One thing's for sure is the receiving core of the Green Bay Packers has matured a lot since we played them last. Christian Watson's really come into his own. Romeo Doubs is healthy now. Alan Lazard, one of our Facebook users said we got to contain Lazard. I don't know about that one so much, but Melvin G, what do you see as a keys to winning for Detroit Lions?
Turnovers.
Good call.
Yes, like the key to beating the Packers, regardless of how they're playing this year versus other years, has always been you have to shorten the amount of possessions that team gets. Like, so when they get possessions, you got to get it out of their hands like as fast as possible. Don't give them those opportunities to score. And plus, you know, those turnovers that puts Rodgers in it. Like he gets pissy. He gets in that pissy little head space and it just snowballs.
Right. That's a side effect of the DMT. Greg Rice.
Yeah.
Give me your keys to winning in this game.
You know, like you just touched on, Mike, a little bit. I really do think it is containing these young receivers, man. Obviously, as GT was touching on, you know, obviously we got to shut down that run game. I think the big thing, a huge X factor here, though, you guys, is our corners, Jerry Jacobs and Jeff Okudah, shutting down or at least containing Doubs and Watson. If these guys get loose and have big days, we're going to have a long day in Lambeau, you guys. If they can do their job, get their assignment, containing these guys and essentially force the Packers to keep running the ball, and we do a decent job of containing the run, I think we have a decent chance at winning this game.
I think that's a great call out. And Aaron Rodgers, you got to give him credit. One of the most accurate passers of all time. He throws into tight windows as good or better than anybody not named Tom Brady, for sure. And like you just touched on there, Greg, we're going to have to stick with him tight, but even then, Aaron Rodgers seems to be able to find, just put it in the right spot. And when we played him last time, we commented how there was something missing. Something was a little off. Each pass was a little too short. You know, the timing was just a little off. Well, they seem to have corrected that. So it's definitely a good call out that our corners are going to be on notice to have this game in the balance, and it's going to rest on their shoulders.
Right.
Bill the Packer fan.
Yeah.
Now, I think what are your keys to winning against the Lions?
I think the keys is spreading the ball around on the offense. We had 5 different players get a touchdown last week. And as far as on the defense, we need them takeaways. We got 12 takeaways in the last 4 games. And I'm hoping to continue that on with this Sunday.
Nice.
And that goes right to what Melvin said, our keys to winning turnovers, right? Us not turning the ball over and getting turnovers on the other side of the ball.
Right.
Well, that's a great call out, Bill. Hey, Bill, we want you to know we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure.
We're gonna make our predictions now because we're entering the final phase of our song, and this is the outro, brought to you by Toolology at the Machine Shop, January 27th in Flint, Michigan, the land's #1 tool tribute with special guest the 99. January 27th, the Machine Shop, the world famous Machine Shop. This is the outro where we make our predictions. Bill, we're going to get your prediction before we let you go. Give me a score and a winner in this game.
Packers 28, Lions 14. And I'm going to leave
2 touchdown lead. All right.
Yep.
All right, Bill. Well, thanks again so much for being on the show. 16 weeks of the year, you're our buddy, but this week you're not.
All right, you guys have a good night, man.
All right. Thanks so much again, Bill.
Yep.
All right. So, Melvin G., we're going to start with you. Let me hear your prediction on this game.
All right. So I think they're coming up pumped. Like these guys are coming in, and I think they're going to be jacked to the fucking nines. And I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be the great game that everybody thinks it's going to be. I think the Lions are going to handily take care of the Packers, and I'm going to say 30-16.
You tripping?
Nice.
30-16.
I like it, Melvin.
16.
I like it.
All right. All right. We're taking over to Greg Rice now. Greg, give me your prediction for this game.
You know, you guys, I'm just gonna 100% buy in that this is a culture change. We beat the Packers in Lambeau, something we haven't said much in our lifetimes. We beat the Packers in Lambeau 24-21 in a closely contested contest.
We beat the Packers 24-21.
Yes.
All right, I like it. Russell Wayne, let's hear your prediction.
Well, I'm not quite as confident as Melvin G on this, but I do think that we are going to win this game. I think that it's going to be a very closely contested contest, and they always love to hang around at the end of the game. I think we're going to get out to a lead, and we're going to protect that lead. They're going to try to get back, and they're not going to get it. I say we win the game 31-30.
31-30. Same score we beat the Bears in Week 10. And our very special guest for Man We Know Sports, GT Grove. What do you like? Give me a winner and a score.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that heavy breathing on Greg.
Tattoos.
You know, like, man, I feel I'm right where Melvin is, y'all. Okay, let's put it like this. Earlier this year, when we were not healthy and we were not clicking, we won 15-9. Just double that. 30-18.
All right.
The Lions win. It's not really gonna be close. You know, I don't see Rodgers getting loose or getting comfortable because of our pressure, and that's gonna help our DBs. My only concern is stopping the run, and as long as those cats that I mentioned earlier are healthy, Lions 30, Packers 18.
All right. Well, you guys aren't going to like my take. I predicted at the beginning of the year the Lions would lose this game, and I'm going to double down on that. I think Bill called out a pretty good score. I think the Packers win 28-14. And the Lions missed the playoffs. That's just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong. And the good news is I'm wrong a lot. So hopefully that trend continues. We do have a very special guest in the waiting room, it looks like. Is that right, Russ? Or he's on the show now, isn't he? Lloyd, are you there?
Show. Yes.
I'm here, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of Nebraska, it is Lloyd Miller, super fan for the Detroit Lions, and he was the winner of our first jersey giveaway. There it is right there. He's sporting that Aiden Hutchinson jersey, courtesy of the Main Event 365 to commemorate our affiliate marketing partnership with NFLshop.com, and we drew his name out of a hat, and he won the Aiden Hutchinson jersey. Lloyd, thanks so much for being on the show, and thanks for supporting the Main Event.
Hey, first off, I want to say thanks for letting me have the opportunity to get this jersey, man. It's great. I love it.
All right.
Lions away, bro.
That's right.
So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Tell me, why are you a Lions fan in Nebraska?
Man, I was born and raised in Michigan. Spent my first 40 years there. That's
right.
all. The only thing I ever liked was Lions. I mean, watching my grandma on Thanksgiving, watching them watch football on TV. It was great, man.
All right.
All
So
my life.
what part of Michigan are you from?
Perry area.
Oh, yeah. No, right where that is. All right.
West of Lansing.
Between Flint and Lansing, right on.
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming on the show, and thanks for entering a contest. We want to remind all of our viewers out there, we're doing it again. We are giving another jersey away again on January the 8th. Prior to the Packer game, it's been flexed to an 8:20 start now, so we're going to give that jersey away. Hey, Russ, tell them how they can enter that contest.
Well, it's very, very simple. We apologize for how difficult it was the first time. Now it's as simple as either going to the main event 365. That's main event, no the. It's not like the Ohio State Buckeyes. Main event 365.info, or you can go to mattpatriciastupidface.com. Either one of them will take you to the place where you can win an NFL jersey.
Right on. So, Lloyd, thanks for being on the show. Real quick from you, what do you see going into Green Bay? Lions going to win this game? And if so, give me a score.
I hope so. We've been doing really good, so I think we got a pretty good chance. I'm going to say 31-24 Lions.
31-24 Lions, and you heard it right there from Lloyd Miller in Nebraska. Thank you so much, Lloyd, for being on the show. We want to thank all of our headliners on the panel. We got a lot of comments. Russ, can we do an encore for this show?
Oh, I'm sure that we can right here.
And apparently he's got the luck since he's winning jerseys, so that means him saying that the Lions are going to win, we're going to fucking win.
There you go. There you go. He's our little rabbit put down there in Nebraska. I like it.
That's a great point. So do you
go ahead, Russ? Give us. It's time now for the encore. Brought to you by MattPatriciaStupidFace.com.
One more song. It's not. One Facebook user says it's not the same old Lions. Yeah,
We do indeed.
Yeah, we do indeed. That must have been comment on something else. Bring on the Pussycats. That must be a Packer
Cheesehead.
fan. Yeah, that cheesehead right there. That's all right. Fan hard. This team is going to do what TCU did to Michigan. Love it.
Oh, wow.
Right on.
Lee.
Right. So
Right.
we got
Right, you probably have the same officiating.
That was costly. That was costly for sure.
Man, we have one that was commenting on the most interesting matchups being the Packers D line versus the Lions O line.
Yeah.
And another comment like that, and is the Packers O line against our pass rushers? So yeah, I mean, this battle in the trenches seems to be a very popular thing. Thank you for all those comments in there, Jeremy Ballreich. We love your articles, brother.
For
so
sure.
I'm gonna put a shout out to that kneecap biting with Smoking Jeremy B. Check out anything that he puts out from an article standpoint. It's very good, knowledgeable, great stat-driven articles. Love you, Jeremy. Thank you for the comments. And he says that the Packers O-line against the Lions pass rushers. So thank you for all the comments, everybody.
Hey,
Does anybody else wish it was Sunday already? Man, I
Yes,
can't
sir.
wait for this game.
I can't wait.
I honestly
Cannot wait.
So look, there's a comment that came up, you guys, and if you don't mind me addressing this, look,
ahead, Greg.
sorry, but playing the refs is a dumb statement. And look, I'm going to put it to you like this. So look, we've had some really suspect calls over the years with the Packers. That is why it is even more important for our Lions to not just win, but have a dominant win. I don't want to leave it in the hands of a player or two that just changed the entire dynamic of the game. Lions, just go out there, kick ass, show these Packers what time it is. You know that it is truly a changing of the guard. Because if we do not get this win, the SOL is going to come out in full effect. And you know, it's just the way it is. So I agree with you on the playing the rest is a dumb statement. Let's go out there, dominate.
Right on. I love that take right there. And here's one that I want to address right here. It says, y'all talk about your offense, but you don't talk about your lousy defense. So let's bring up some straight facts right here, Facebook user. Yeah, we started out 1-6, and then we actually had a couple of games where we held some teams under 10 points, right? We don't have awesome defense for the first 7 games, but they had turned it around. We had good defensive performances, and we still were the 32nd rank. Our defensive performance was so bad in the first 7 games that it skews the entire seasons. But if you're looking at this defense from the bye week on, you're looking at a completely different defense. So it's not as lousy as I think that this Facebook user would think that it is.
And I'm going to double down on that because it's like I said earlier, Mr. Facebook user, who probably sounds like John Dorn. The last 9 weeks, the defense has given up 20 points a game. You can check and verify that and get back to me later.
Woo!
Get him, Melvin.
My quarterback. But they are who we thought they were.
Did we lose
And we have never hit 30 points 8 times in a doggone season.
I like it.
And isn't that something, G, when we're talking about this offense, like coming out of a Stafford era where we're talking about a top graded offense like this? I really love the build of this team right now. I mean, and if you don't, it's like you're not really paying attention.
Too many weapons.
So many weapons and young on rookie contracts, dude. We're going to be good for 10 years. And you can bet that, Dorn. What are you going to do when Rodgers retires?
Wow.
Oh, Jordan Love era is starting. We can't wait. Yay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You there, Mike?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. Well, this has been an incredibly awesome show. It is the final week, but we still keep running here at the Main Event 365. It's 365 for a reason, because 365 days a year, we're bringing you Lions content and analysis. The NFL has built a year-long model, and we are tagging along for the ride. Thanks to everyone on our headliner panel, Melvin G. Detroit Jesus, the West Coast Statmaster Greg Rice, from And We Know Sports, our very distinguished guest, GT, El Jefe, the Swami, the producer, Russell Wayne, and Lloyd Miller in Nebraska for winning that jersey. I'm Main Event Mike. Take care. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
Later. One pride.